This again, crime stories of Tyria. Probably should have. Ooh, voice sounds horseman, kind of sick. But welcome back. Have a few stories. This found a few stories. I believe it's a free site. Hopefully, I'm not doing nothing wrong, but it's on Wattpad, a site called Wattpad. And I found a few stories there. I'm gonna do one Reddit story, and then I found another story on Crime Org. So I'm gonna read those today, and found them quite interesting. I think on Wattpad they have a couple of them because the stories don't seem to be as long. But I'm just interested to see how they're written because the initial part of what I was reading seemed very interesting. So let's go ahead and get into it. The again start off. Always forget start off. If this type of content is disturbing or disturbs you, if you can't handle it, please just log off if you can't handle this type of content. But for everyone else, let's go ahead and get into it. The first story, and it's by Arena True Crime. It's called The Abduction of Camilla Mobley. So, starts off. Camilla Teresa Tasha Mobley was abducted from a Florida hospital on July 10th, 1998, when she was only 8 hours old. How does that happen? Camilla Mobley was born on July 10th, 1998, to a 16-year-old Shannara Mobley. She was abducted 8 hours after birth by a woman impersonating a nurse, reportedly dressed in hospital attire, who entered the room, assisted and conversed with Shannara, and later walked out of the room with Camilla in her arms. Oh, wow. How did she get past? I wonder where they're from, because with the kids, they usually have the. Oh, this is in 98. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. Employees initially believed that the woman who kidnapped Camilla was a member of the Mobley family. Shannara was interviewed later, pleading for the return of her daughter. The abductor was believed to be between 25 and 35 years old and possibly wore a pair of glasses and a wig. She was dressed in a floral blue smock and green scrubs. It is known that Gloria Williams, about 33 at the time, later forged documents to create a new identity for Camilla. Gloria was in an abusive relationship and had just miscarried a child a week before, which is believed to be her motive for the abduction. Okay. I was like, there's got to be a reason for this because hopefully she's just not kidnapping kids, but she wanted a kid. She wanted a kid. That is very interesting. Yeah, and the time is different, so I don't really know how the procedures would be, but you would hope they would be better, especially in '98 though. But things really haven't happened. I guess maybe it wasn't a thing. I'm pretty sure kidnapping would have been still a thing by '98. Because there were no photographs taken of Camilla before her abduction, a computer generated composite of her was created to distribute to the media. Distinctive features such as Mongolian spots and an umbilical hernia were included in reports. After a series of tips, Camilla was swabbed, and a DNA sample taken from Camilla after she was born was matched to a swab taken from the potential match. After the match was confirmed, Camilla was described as in good health but overwhelmed. She had been living in South Carolina under the name Alexis Manigo and had since graduated from Colleton County High School and had a boyfriend. Oh, wow. This girl's almost 20 years old at this point. She had been raised alongside Gloria Williams' two other children. Camilla connected with her father and grandmother over FaceTime and planned to reunite with other biological family members in person. She had never met her biological father, as he was incarcerated at the time of her birth for drug possession and delivery, and because he was 19 while Shannara was 15 at the time of Camilla's conception. Okay, that might have been another issue. The news of the kidnapping and her being found made national headlines in 2017. Gloria was arrested in South Carolina and extradited to Florida, where she was charged with kidnapping and interfering with custody. She had a prior history with law enforcement, having previously been charged with check and welfare fraud. Camilla described Gloria. Camilla described Gloria was no felon and insisted that Gloria raised her with everything she needed. I think we wrote it wrong. She described Gloria as not a felon. Okay. Yeah, because that's the only mom you knew until you realize you don't have. That's not your true mom. He was kidnapped for 20 plus years at that point. Jeez. In February 2018, Gloria Williams pleaded guilty to kidnapping. She admitted she acted alone in the 98 abduction. On June 8th, 2018, Gloria Williams was sentenced to 18 years in prison for the kidnapping of Camilla Mobley. Camilla still communicates with her kidnapper, Gloria Williams, whom she still refers to as her mother. Yeah, that's the only mom she knows. That's tough. Especially somebody raised you, especially if she took good care of her too. Now I can see if she was abusive to the girl, then she probably was like, okay, yeah, no, I understand. But she was taking care of her, treated her like her own child, and obviously the girl didn't know. Man, that is. I wonder what happened to the original mom. What happened to Shannara? Let's see. Oh yeah, I just gotta keep reading. Gloria is currently serving her sentence at the Hernando Correctional Institution and is scheduled for release on July 9th, 2034. Her biological mother in Florida, Shannara, was awarded $1.5 million after settling a lawsuit against the former University Medical Center. She has since had 3 other children. Was that it? Hold on. Oh, they even have comments on Wattpad. That's interesting. Somebody put cases like this are hard to decide the verdict because yes, while she was kidnapped, she is also being taken away from the only family she knows. Well, she's 20 at this point, so I think she gets to decide. But yeah, as a mother, I don't understand how you. I'm glad she was still looking for a daughter. It would be hard for me to understand how the hospital had an employee working there, even in '98, that they didn't have it on record because that means she didn't clock in. She didn't do anything. She just walked in there. That means anybody could have did it at that time. It's probably honestly why there's so many different procedures nowadays with the kids because now there's bracelet on top of one bracelet on top of another bracelet. If this bracelet leaves this facility without being cut off by whatever device they have, it shuts down all the doors in the facility and it sounds off alarms and everything. And if the bracelet now, if it comes loose just even a little bit, it starts setting off alarms. And it doesn't set off the major alarm, but it sets off like minor alarms to alert the nurse, hey, is something wrong with the baby? Did somebody mess with the device at all? So I guess cases like this is why this happened. Now I'm surprised nobody has talked about the mental state of the mother, not Shannara, because I understand she probably was grieving for a long time. But the mental state of the other lady, Gloria, who said she lost her child a week before, I believe, and then so she came in, so and came in and basically took that child. So that's what makes it tough. That's what makes it tough because Gloria's not right, and there's no way, nowhere in this world that she's right, and what she did was absolutely wrong, and I agree that she served time, but it doesn't seem like she harmed the girl because if she did, the girl wouldn't have wanted to be her mother. Still refer to her as a mother. And it seems like she treated the girl just like her own kids, which as Shannara, if I'm Shannara, I'm at least thankful for that part. Because I feel like I read a lot of these stories and people get kidnapped and now you never see them again or they're they're gone, they're dead. So at least thankful for that part. But geez, it's still yes, I would definitely have sued the hospital. 1.5 million. I don't know. 1.5 million over 20 years. How much money is that? Is that 50,000? Let me see. Do some quick math. 50 times 2 is 100. 50 times 20 must mean 50,000 a year is one. So let's just say it's like 60,000 a year, basically, is what this said. she was worth. Let's just say for 20 years, about 20 years. Um, yeah, this will be tough. This will be tough for me because I'm pretty sure Shannara is the one that sets the charges off, and that's what got the lawsuits going and everything like that. But and I'm surprised she didn't sue them way earlier than that. To be just being honest, because they would have been getting lawsuits on top of lawsuits. I'm not sure what the procedure is, but I'm pretty sure I would have figured out how to sue them for everything they had until they found my kid. Especially they're saying they don't know who the other lady is that took the kid. I'm surprised in this story they didn't really say. They didn't really say too much about. They should have gave a little bit more background, in my opinion. Um, okay, and a few other comments. They say, imagine you have a loving family, and then some policeman goes, "Yeah, these people actually kidnapped you." Yeah, that's the tough scenario, because you really wouldn't know what to do, especially if these people loved up on you for so long. Yeah, and now if I'm with the other kids, I'm wondering, did I get kidnapped too? What? Hey, what happened? But yeah, this is a little different of a story. I guess reading mainly unsolved, and this one definitely was solved. Uh, and then another person says 1.5 million. Basically, the mom gets 1.5 million, but she would never get the relationship she would have had with her daughter back. That is very true. That is very true. At least, well, obviously she has some other kids, so I know that doesn't take the all the sting away from having kids and whatnot, or your first kid being taken. But at least she had at least she had other kids, and I don't know. That's still it's tough. You're right. You just lost a relationship, and you'll never know. But at least, at least to me, it seems like she was in a better, not a better. I'm not sure if she's in a better situation or not, but at least she was in a loving situation instead of these stories I read where they done, you know, beheaded somebody. All right, let's get another story from Wattpad in here. Catherine Sooth. Start over if I can read. Excuse me. Catherine Susan Kitty Genovese was born in Brooklyn, New York on July 7th, 1935, to parents Vincent and Rachel Genovese. The oldest of five children, Genovese was a. Wait, Genovese? I guess Catherine? I don't know. But it says Genovese was a graduate of Prospect Heights High School and remembered as a very good student and voted class cut up in her senior year. Um, I feel like that means class clown, but I guess it doesn't. Maybe it means she's cut above the rest, maybe? Following her graduation in 1953, Kitty's mother witnessed the murder on the streets, which motivated the family to move to New Canaan, Connecticut. Kitty Genovese, however, remained in New York City, working as a secretary at an insurance company and working nights at Eve's 11th Hour, 11th Hour, a bar in the Hollis neighborhoods of Queens, first as a bartender, then as a manager, prompting her move to Queens. A decade later, Kitty met her girlfriend, Mary Ann Zelenko, in a Greenwich Village nightclub. The two found a second floor apartment together in Kew Gardens in Queens, considered a peaceful, safe area to live. Kitty Genovese was returning from work home at around 2:30 a.m. on March 13th, 1964, when she was approached by a man with a knife. Kitty ran toward her apartment building front door, and the man grabbed her and stabbed her while she screamed. A neighbor, Robert Mosier, Robert Mosier, that was my, I had a teacher called Robert Mosier in college. Okay, that threw me off. Okay. Neighbor Robert Mosier, I don't know, he was in Tennessee. I'm not sure if he's from New York. Neighbor Robert Mosier yelled out his window, let that girl alone." Or leave that girl alone, has to be leave the girl alone, causing the attacker to flee. Kitty, seriously injured, crawled to the rear of her apartment building, out of the view of any possible witnesses. 10 minutes later, her attacker returned, stabbed her, R-worded her, and stole her money. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.